Hi, I'm Laura Crapo, and I'm gonna do a video today about how when people are like, you can't handle the truth, but then the truth is so no matter what it is, if it's the truth, it's very peaceful and feels right and just kind of makes it's just peaceful. It's not what like like your body knows the difference between the truth and a lie and stuff. And like when you finally hear it, I guess the person who has to tell the truth what has resistance to it, right? And but in the end, it's like super healing and it's good for both parties because I think people who continue to roll with like a false story, like they suffer from it in the end. Anyway, so because this is like an intuitive channel, I'm gonna maybe like I could either just not use tarot cards or just like think about it. Maybe I'll do a combination of both, just to make this video longer than like 30 seconds. Uh, and also like if anyone wants to subscribe to my channel, which would be amazing. Because I want to get it past 1,000 so I can make this like a real functioning supported channel. That'd be great. And also, if you become a subscriber, you can ask a question in that live chat, and I will answer it for you as best I can using my intuition. Anyway, all right. So I'm just gonna relax and think about this theme of this video, the truth, and stuff like that. Any helpful advice? So I'm speaking a bit quietly. It's because I talk to my dog, Dr. Disco, and then the rest of the time I'm pretty quiet. So that's that's why I'm not good at talking. Okay. Yeah. So obviously I pick up like the media, and it's like whoever everything's like once upon a time there was no TV or radio and there was no newspapers and there was no media, and then some human being decided to create it for whatever reason. So you have to kind of like remember, okay, this channel, this like broadcasting channel is like this TV station is just a man-made invention that for better for worse it is what it is, and it has its own kind of dated qualities. Just how like you can look at stuff from the 80s or the 60s and go like know exactly when that was made just based on the stuff they're saying and their attitudes and stuff like the sexism that was so prevalent when I was a kid, and um didn't really go away until like the mid 90s or something. And even then it was like considered like the world wasn't ready or something. And I feel like now in 2025 it's like kind of normalized that like respecting other people is more widely embraced. So it's important to remember not just to t- take things at face value, like who made this, it's knowing a bit of history helps. um so just break it down into it's like imagine you're watching what you're watching like 30 years from now, and like you can see the corniness of it and the construction and like the point of view, and so I wouldn't really call that stuff like the truth. If you compare it to like if you're meditating and you're trying to resonate with like the most beautiful, peaceful, unconditionally loving, like you have different like channels to choose from, so like aim for the best, and then like you can kind of cross reference, like compare what you're seeing on TV with what your intuition tells you in its most peaceful version, you know? Um, so okay. So that's what I'm picking up, like, there's, a million and one channels in, like, whether it's, like, TV stuff or this internet kind of stuff or whatever. Um, or even, like, people discussing what they saw on TV, like, that's, like, another kinda arm of it. Yeah, and then it can be very divisive sometimes, so it's important to kinda go back to center and, like, include your meditation, and I mean, I'll just say I've mentioned this in other videos, but, like, when I first started realizing my intuition was kinda, like, breaking through my reality, like, becoming so noisy that it's, like, I can't deny it, you know? It's not just, like, a fleeting thought or something, it's, like, giving me actual helpful life-saving advice, like, in advance and stuff, so, like, eventually, after a bunch of situations like that where I got a preview, like a movie preview or something of, like, what was gonna happen, like, down to every detail, and then, like, 2 months later, the thing would happen, but then it's like I'd rehearsed it because I knew, like, how like, every part of it, so I was able to survive in that case. Okay, well, I'm getting lost in the sauce here. So intuition is helpful, and, when you first get into it, um, you you perceive stuff when you're meditating, you're not really there's no, like, organizational, like, library system for all this this information, and you kinda treat it like it's all on the same level, but there's levels to it, and, um, stuff that seems kinda negative, like, okay, sure, it's out there, but you don't have to, like, take your cues from that, like, you can observe it, but you don't have to feel like that's you, like, it's if you like, I think a lot of other people say this now, like, that you're kinda like a radio, like, you're a receiver, and you can pick up all sorts of information and just intuitively, so it's on you to, like, choose the best station, like, and just reach for, like, the most unconditionally loving kinda space, and you'll get, like, more helpful information because you don't wanna be, like, running around fearful and stuff, it's not like, so there's, like, different levels of emotion that have different frequency, I guess, so, like, if you wanna have a nice life, like, reach for the nicer energies in your meditation, and by meditation, I don't mean, like, you need to have, like, a whole room for for that or, like, all the bells and whistles of meditation, like, it could literally be sitting on the bus and just, like, letting your mind, uh, explore, and you don't have to, like, obsess over, like, quieting your mind, like, it's, probably I think, like, a better way than saying quieting your mind would be, like, just be observational and don't feel attached to what you're seeing, just observe, and, like, the more time you spend observing what comes comes passing by, like, in your mind, like, in a detached way, just be like, "Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well, that's interesting," but you don't have to, like, uh, feel like it has a real personal thing, like, you can choose every day to think positively, and then it totally it's like GPS, like, it takes you on a better route. It's like, um, when I had to renew my driver's license and my car's in the shop and I'm living in the country, it's like, well, driving, it's like 20, 28 minutes, walking is 7.5 hours, and biking is, like, whatever, 2.5 hours or something. So, like, it's that kinda thing. You can save yourself a lot of trouble by thinking positively and taking, like, the most peaceful route. Um, but, like, in terms of the title of this video, like, the truth or, when people say, like, "You can't handle the truth," it's like, every time in my life when someone has, like, truly confessed to something, like, that was just really nasty, it's like, when I hear it, I'm like, I just feel so liberated because it's like, it's inside the truth, like, everybody has access to, like, all information in their capabilities, whether you're, like, working with your capabilities or not, like, you can sense when something's off. So when you finally hear something that's true, you're just like it's very peaceful feeling, and, like, if I mean, of course, some people might be triggered by it or whatever, but, like, deep down, it's a peaceful feeling, because like, truly how things have been, and it just, like, feels right. It's like this Tetris kind of feeling where everything just fits into place, and you're like, "Okay, I can move on now because this mystery is solved." But, okay, I'm gonna see what else besides the news or whatever. Okay, and the other thing I'm getting is, like, about relationships. So okay. Like, it's something I was thinking about recently. Yeah, so it's like I'm getting this kinda, like, 2 directions thing. So, for whatever reason, you end up in a relationship, working relationship, or personal, uh, there's the point where you meet, which is sort of the intersection of the 2 lines, and, but the 2 lines might be, like, very like, it might be very soon when things, like, just go off in different directions and it's no longer compatible. So, all you can really do is, like, align yourself with the best possible sort of truth, like uh, okay, like, right now I'm, like, living close to nature, uh, and, like, let's think about, like, frogs, right? Like, frogs like, nature kinda wants us to be cooperative and non-destructive, right? But, like, as humans, you get these ideas, different projects, like, "Why don't I dig, like, a mile down and, like, take all the pretty rocks and then sell them?" Or, it's just like, well, maybe that's not such a great idea, and then, like, what? Like, nature kinda wants you to not do stuff like that, and, like, for instance, a frog, like, I have a bunch of frogs, like, around my dock, and, they're, like they're super curious and friendly, but they're shy, but they want to interact, but, like, in their way, right? So, for instance, like, I was, like, sometimes, like, they're hard to see because 'cause they're good at, blending in with nature, and then all of a sudden you'll see, like, these 2 shiny balls sticking out of the water, and you're like, "Oh, there's some eyes, okay." So, like, and then you slowly, like, find the kinda Where's Waldo, all the frogs that are around you, and surprisingly more than you thought, and then they're all kinda, like, looking at you, and then, like, there's this over the days, like, you get this familiarity and this sort of friendship and trust building, and with this one, like, older frog, it'll start, like, swimming closer to me in, like, stages, and there's, like, a bit of an interaction, but, like, they want the friendship, they're happy that you're there, but they don't want you to, like, do a big splash or chase after them or whatever, so, like, as humans, like, one truth would be like the truth of nature and how everything kind of fits in together and your place in it, and like and I also feel that animals, the nature is like kind of heart based, and like there's like a because they know like when to do like various cycles of going north and south and this and that, like it's like they have the owner's manual. Like, and they get it, and like we're the ones who are kind of going off script, like off of like the truth or whatever. So it's really on us to not get lost in the sauce. And like there's that really great painting. Oh my god, I can't even think of it. It's in Madrid, the Garden of Earthly Delights, right? So it's like there's a million and one. If you look that up, if you don't already know what I'm talking about, the Garden of Earthly Delights is like what was it called? Oh my god, no, so look it up if you haven't seen it, and it's like, and there's also like a free copy of it, like in HD, which is like it takes up a lot of memory. But if you want to like print it off or like make have your own Garden of Earthly Delights at home, like well printed, like it's there. Um, it's like super cool, and but it's kind of demonstrates like how lost in the sauce like people are, and just like there's a million and one distractions, but like if you meditate to like what is essentially the most unconditionally loving energy that is like connected to all things, like that's like I think the easiest route to sort of belong in nature and kind of get the right cues and stuff like that. So um luckily people historically have left behind messages like the painting Garden of Earthly Delights, to kind of be like, hey, you might want to watch out for this, like, and it's there's a lot of great stuff like that, like books and paintings and stuff like that. um okay, what else? So like, yeah, in relationships that can go off, like what is what's your compass? Is it like being like codependent, like needy for people to like keep you in their life? Like if someone is literally like just meeting you at a perfect moment, but then you're like too different, like it can really, you being attracted to like stay with that person can pull you off of your own course. So it's like you can enjoy meeting people and stuff, but like what is your kinda, I guess, what some people call, like, your North Star or whatever, but, like, what are you being guided by? And make sure it's, like, unconditionally loving, like, and connected to nature and, like, things that work, like, systems that work instead of, uh I don't know, like, okay, I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to my intuition for a bit, and then maybe I'll pull a couple of cards just to spice it up. Okay, theme is the truth. Okay, I feel like too, like don't. I feel like if you're kind of aligned with your energy to like what is like the most like beautiful, peaceful, unconditionally loving energy that um peacefully connects to like everything. You don't have to try to communicate that to people, like, being in that vibe, like, is very, like, legible to everybody, like, it's people can perceive it easily, so it's like, like when you just see someone at a glance, you kinda get, like, their vibe or whatever, so, um, you don't feel like you have to rush into, uh, like, communicating something, like, in the early stages of your, process of discovering that. I'm not saying don't talk about it, but, like, I'm just saying don't there's something, to just vibing with it that's its own kinda language and enjoy building that rapport, um, I would say. Okay. Um, and also, like, it's all well and good to, like, wanna fall in love or get married or do this and that, but, like, everybody comes from a different background of, like, how their parents treated them or if they didn't have their parents present or, like, there's all these different like, no one has the same life story. So it's a lot to ask for people to, like, do a perfect job, um, and kinda meet all your needs and demands when like, your needs and demands might be really, like, to them, like a foreign concept. So it's really, like I think there's a need to, like, tread more lightly, um, there's like, in like, I don't know if you guys watch, like, true crime stories and stuff like that, like it's a pretty big heads up to, like, it's not always a great idea to live with people, because it seems like a lot of the conflicts arise over who's getting the house or, like, uh, wanting people to not live with you and after a while and stuff like that. So, there might be a need to kind of consider safety first, in any kind of relationship building and stuff like that. Because, like, people we've as a culture, as a group of humans, like, we've created this system of marriage, and, um, I think it's good to be devoted to a project like a family and a union, but, like, it's not everybody's capable, especially with this sort of garden of earthly delights we live in today where there's, like, way more information than ever before, the distractions more than ever before. So, uh, therefore, like, things might need to adjust to make it, like, safer, for everybody. Okay. Yeah, and so, just one more thing I get is, like, if you're meditating and you get kinda just, like, a peaceful kinda like, the best messages feel unconditionally loving, just like, "Here," instead of one that has, like, fear attached to it and stuff like that. Um, if you're capable of navigating to different kinds of messages like that, because today is, like, a different time than, like, the '80s or the 2010s or whatever. Like, when you're trying to get, like, advice through meditation, it might be, like, different advice than you would have gotten, like, 5 years ago or something like that. So, just if you get, like, a picture like, for instance, I get, like, warnings sometimes about, like, major events in the world, and so I just kind of feel like, "Okay, I'm not gonna be near that building," or whatever, like, and it might come, like, 10 years ahead of time, so sometimes, like, a helpful message might be to most people, like, "Why would you think that?" Like, it's a sunny day and the birds are chirping in that neighborhood, whatever, but, maybe it's just for you, that message. Otherwise you're like trying to warn people with a sign and it's like uh like trying to like wake people up or whatever, but it's like that doesn't always go well, right? So maybe it's a message for you. Um okay, I like the truth. Okay, I'm gonna like bring it to cards right now just to oh wait, there's some sorry, I didn't see your messages. Okay, wait. Let's look at the okay, wait. Okay, show this one. Okay. All right, so okay, I'm gonna just answer Joanna's question. Okay, like for you, I feel like there's someone right now in your life who's like kind of bossy and like they're feel they're more present in your life. I don't know if you work with them or something, but they just seem sort of bossy and their energy isn't great. So I wouldn't choose that person. There also feels like there's someone else, that who feels like if it were like a clock, like the bothersome person is like 9 o'clock, and then there's someone sort of 11 o'clock. Maybe they're a bit like they're not at your work, but you kind of know them on just in a little bit. They're also not a great choice, but there feels like there's another one maybe that you've met like through the internet or like just not like in your present day life. Who feels like a better option. They're just like a more gentle personality and kind of like more lighthearted, but you only know them like a little bit and they feel like more at like 2 o'clock. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. So I think you're right in wondering and like searching outside of your present day people because there is somebody there for you and they just have like a more gentle, like nice personality and they're not trying to be like, "Hey, like, I'm here," like, they're not being bossy. So, it's like, I guess, like a friendship first and being maybe open to, like, nicer people than you've dated before. I feel like that, so good luck with that. Alright, so I'm gonna go to the cards. And I guess what I mean by, like, the times on the clock, it could be also, like, maybe that person lives, like, northeast of you, whereas, like, the bossy person might live like west of you or like be positioned kind of western like or in that in that direction close to you. I don't know if that makes sense. um okay, so I'm just gonna find a couple tarot cards that'll help like illustrate what I'm talking about with the truth. Okay, so we got Knight of Cups. I'll just get a couple more. And thank you for subscribing, Joanna. And to anyone else who's watching, if you want to ask a question, I can answer it live if you subscribe. Okay, this one, which is, what is that? I gotta put my glasses on, the Eight of Cups. Okay, and the Hierophant. All right. So, okay. So first we have the Knight of Cups. Let's gonna look at it. I feel like people are hyping up, like, how you see like travel videos? It's like, go to this place. Like, I feel like certain places are more hyped up than like places like Los Angeles. It's like, yeah, it has perfect weather, but like it's kind of a shit show on upon close examination. you know? And so I would just like beware of people glamorizing certain things. Like it's really on you. Like you hold this golden cup, like you have to trust yourself first and work with your intuition and this kind of like white horse. I kind of feel like is your best intuition guiding you to the right place. And It looks like this Knight of Cups is just passing right by LA, like, they're not going there. They're going just going right past it. And you might feel, like, overly guarded right now, like, you've been through it and it's been a battle and you're kind of overly guarded, like, you kinda wanna be like the happy baby on the horse card, whatever that one is. And, so maybe if you use your intuition, you can relax a bit and trust that it will guide you, like, where you need to go, and you don't have to be so defensive and guarded. Because like, life is meant to kind of be flow and be enjoyable, ideally. Alright, so we have the Eight of Cups. Let's see. What do we got here? I'm kinda drawn to, like, the water, but not in the sense that it's water, but, like, the shape of the drawing. I feel like the 2 hills there are just these people in your life who are just overwhelming and, like, weighing you down, and you're kind of trying to navigate through life, like, sort of peacefully walk around these 2 people who are overbearing and try to find, like, a path that is your own, that where you're not being told what to do or psyched out or criticized. Um, so maybe if you did think of those people as just sort of rock formations in your personal landscape, and you just need to, like, just, just find your path, just be like, "Okay," like, these people have very fixed ideas, and that's just who they wanna be. They wanna be like these rock formations, whereas I wanna, like, discover and find my truth and find my adventure and my fulfillment. But um it feels like you, because there's these 8 of cups, it's like you've already worked hard to create some stuff, but now you're kind of like, where do I go next? But you're not going to be psyched out by like what it is or what people are telling you, like, well, this is how it works. Because like, in every stage of humanity, like, things always change. So the one thing you can depend on is change. So it's like, who's telling you how stuff works? Like, whatever, like, according to you, you know. So it's important again to respect your intuition to guide you through your adventure through life, and to not get like, maybe these hills, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. these these hills could also be these same hills in this card, where you're just like, yeah, yeah, like, I know what is or whatever, but how good is that working out? Like, personally, like, kind of like, I have an acting agent, right? And I haven't gotten any. I've auditioned in person a couple of times, or like sent videos as they do now after COVID. But like, um, I just like all the stuff that comes through the pipe is like really dark and just sort of against my morality. So I'm like, even if I get like, oh, they want you to audition, like the script is so gross. Like, I can't even describe the last one because I don't wanna, like, freak anyone out, but it's just, like, it's so dark. I just told my agent, it's like, I can't say those words, like, even if I think of it like I'm the villain in a telenovela, like, I don't wanna be that person saying that stuff because it's so against my morality, like, what do you, so even though it's like, "Oh, but that's how things are," it's like, no, not everything has to be like a horror film or, like, exploitative, or just, it's no. Like, um, so just because that's the state of things today doesn't mean you can't be this awesome person being guided by your intuition, which in this case is like this white horse, holding what you value, going through life, and just bypassing these mountains of turd that, have become the landscape. you know, to navigate around that. Pardon my French. So then we have the Hierophant. It's something weird about this energy. Okay. So we got these like priests at the bottom here. And they're like at first I thought it was just like a Persian kind of carpet. But then I'm like, oh, those are two people. Let me just look at this. Okay, just gonna look at this. Yeah, so of course, like because of the speed of communication today, like people calling out uh, aspects of church, uh, or everything truths come out. So I kind of feel like they're on like wobbly ground at this time, and there's a bit of a panic. I mean, it comes down to like people telling you what to do. Like, of course, goodness is goodness, and like being good is good. Like, but like this is regime the right word? It's like it's like very structured. And is like the truth structured? Like it's just like it's like it's like Liberace. Like there's music and then there's different performers and then there's like Liberace and he has all the chandeliers and the clothing and the this and that. Like um you know, okay, let me just relax into it. Yeah, so there's just like I feel like in the pillars with those lines and dots, it's sort of like a message, sort of like Morse code or whatever. Um, there's a lot of information out there, and there's plenty of people wanting to guide you and guide your finances in a certain direction, and your time and your energy in a certain direction. Because like your energy is really powerful. Like when people are like, send someone good wishes, or like you can feel that stuff. It's like it's real. It's like a real currency or whatever. So like when people are trying to attract your attention and your time and your finances to their project, whether it's all dressed up or not or whatever, um, it's on you to like manage your energy wisely and like towards um what's good, and you might be walking by these mountains of stuff and like people who create mountains or create structures and systems and stuff that you it's like let's say like someone feels like a positive calling or something and they're like what do I do with it? Like for instance, like when I was like 13 or so, like I had an experience like that where just out of the blue, uh, like like my family was not at all religious. In fact, they were telling me like that like religion and like believing in God was like a crock. So like I was I was like kind of like why am I getting this strong message that I should lead like a spiritual life like in junior high or whatever. Like it didn't make a lot of sense and it didn't make sense to my mom when I mentioned it. And but there's like these structures where people are like, oh well, this organization accepts people who have a spiritual calling, why don't I just like slot myself into it? But like there's other people who go about it like a more independent path, or like in these cards it feels like more of an independent path, and they're kind of going around the structures and like finding their way. Uh, and it takes a certain amount of like self-respect and um, self-belief to go on your own path like this instead of having all your energy and finances like harnessed into like some system that has like a figurehead that you might not necessarily like trust, or it's some of the people involved like are not safe or virtuous people. So um as it's been proven with court cases in the past. So um okay, so in terms of the truth, like whether it's like older organizations like this, or the TV, is like you really got to like understand these are human beings involved in these systems, and like to them like there might be some kind of like benefit to being a part of it. They might, parts of them might be good, parts of them might not be good, like just like regular people. Bit like when you use your intuition and you try to tune into like unconditional love and like uh wisdom, and and you do your best to discern uh what is most peaceful in living. Then you kind of have the GPS to like get through life and get around these obstacles, or these sort of mountains of turd that like can be like a bummer. And sorry to use that word, but like I'm just trying to get to the point. And to not fall for like the what is like established, like anything that is supposedly established is in truth very fleeting, and it depends on people believing in it and investing in it, in their thoughts and efforts and finances to like for instance, if everybody just decided like they didn't like Netflix or something and everyone unsubscribed, like like something else would have to be created to like be the people's entertainment. So it's like, just as an example. Okay, so I'll just choose one more card and then I'll wrap up this reading. And if anyone's tuning in and they live and they want to subscribe, you can ask a free question. I'll answer it. Okay, and then we have judgment. So look at this. Okay. I feel like I still need to show you this card for some reason. Maybe I can look at it too this way. All right. So I kind of feel like some people have like really sharp intuition and get a lot of messages, and other people are like praying and they just like believe in goodness, but they're not getting like detailed information. Like I feel like this woman who's holding like the lines of sound coming from the horn is like receiving like actual detail stuff that you could like write down and whatever. And then there's people who feel kind of like dead inside from like their like what is my life kind of. That's why they're like standing in these um I don't know if it's like coffins or whatever, whatever, like boxes. um and it's like I want to feel connection, like I want to feel loved, and because sometimes you can't find like real like love in the sense of the best version of like unconditional love. um and it's a good idea to like open up to it in this way of like I want to receive unconditional love. Like, even if I can't hear a message, I'm gonna turn my thoughts to that instead of just being like down in the dumps. That's the first step, like, it's like I'm willing to receive a positive, helpful message of love or just feel the feeling of love, and maybe not necessarily with a message attached to it as a guiding force. Um, I don't know. I still feel like I need to put the card up for some reason. Like, I also try to like look at it from the side. um, and then I feel like the horn is sort of like someone making like fine tune adjustments. So don't feel like you need to do some mind blowing like adjustment to your life. Like just making the slightest adjustment of like, okay, instead of being overwhelmed or feeling sad about this, I'm gonna like do something positive. Like I'm gonna draw, or I'm gonna like, if it's safe, like go for a walk, or uh, you know, try to be in the sunlight if it's possible. Anything that just kind of feels good, like that's better than what you were feeling or what you were doing right before. And I also feel like there's not a need to like explain it to everybody because like whatever you're going through, sometimes it can like, if someone, let's say someone's really like feeling good and inspired, like if you tell some people, it might actually like piss them off, or they'll think like you're like, they'll be judgmental and stuff, just like this card saying. Um, so you don't necessarily have to like share all that stuff with people because like it can be triggering for people. So um, it's enough for you just to have like a good vibe, you know. And then you're not burdening someone with like, "Oh my god, my life is so awesome." Like, like it's, even people that supposedly like you can get triggered over just little stuff because some people can't help but get into a comparative thing instead of just letting you be you. Like for instance, in nature shows off. It's like peacocks, like blue jays, like waterfalls. Like there's like nature is spectacular and a show off. It's natural, I think, is we're natural. Like it's like we like to show off too. And it's like when we live in like really close quarters and cities and stuff, like New York City, like New Yorkers, generational New Yorkers, I find like dress like super drab and kind of blend in to a fault, you know? And it's like the people from the country who are like really being flashy when they come to live in New York. But it's like, is that good? Is it good to sort of like revert to the Gap or like LL Bean to be like your your fashion? Because like a peacock would be like, I don't know about that. So there's something to not getting up in everybody's face and like being satisfied with having your own kind of like moment with your intuition and it guiding you um in your own way, and just allowing this beauty and inspiration stuff into your life to kind of like save your life, really, like because like uh if they weren't doing this and turning to inspiration, then they'd be in the stressful situation of like, okay, are we like drowning in these floating boxes? Like, like this looks kind of hazardous. And also because like nobody's clothed in this depiction. It's like that you could feel like cold and vulnerable without this connection to like unconditional love that is spiritual. That warmth. So So in terms of the theme of like truth and stuff, um, not everybody needs to know like at what stage you're at in terms of feeling this unconditional love and support in your life. Like, and just because someone gets like factual details that they can write down and like really navigate life with doesn't mean they're like superior. They just might have like a different kind of job in terms of their life purpose. Maybe their purpose is to write stuff down. Maybe some other people just feel the feeling without the instructions. Like do this, do that, say this, say that, whatever. Okay, wait. I'm just gonna pull one more card. I just feel like it's not over yet. I'm just gonna also because my battery's not dying, so that gives me time, but not like last time. Okay. Also glad it's sunny today. Oh, and then yeah, so it's the moon. Speaking of, okay, what else? Okay, again, I feel this need to like put the card up. So you see how the fox is kind of like looking at the dog and growling like directly, whereas the dog is like looking at the sun. Okay, like the card is called the moon, but like it looks like a sun. What do we do with that? Okay, so I'm just gonna roll with like whatever I pick up on. Because I'm not a student of tarot. I'm like a intuitive person. Okay, so okay, what do we got here with this angry fox? Yeah, so just to continue with like what the other cards were saying, like you like let's say you're the dog, right? You're having your own kind of inspirational moment and like working with like understanding how to reach for the best version of yourself or your best purpose in life because there's like that path moving forward and it's like the dog is like looking at the sun but also like face towards the path so it sort of feels more like it's the dog's path there or like you also have this like lobster. Is it like a scorpion or a lobster? Maybe they're scorpions and lobsters are related because they look pretty similar. I guess they're both in water, right? Like, or are they? I don't even know. But like, let's say a lobster is a water scorpion. Okay. But I don't know. Maybe I'm still feeling like the path is like the dog's path. Um, it's a bit like Wizard of Oz ish. This picture. But the wolf, I mean, fox, wolf, whatever that is, like a canine with a, a fluffy tail, is more just uh, like trying to psych out this dog or distract it. It's like, what are you doing? You know, like I'm gonna bother you while you try to live your life. And then the scorpion's kind of like, how did you get away from me? Like maybe you've gotten to a stage where people feel like you're not under their control and they're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you making independent choices here? How did you even get to this spot? And it's like, well, the fact that you're acknowledging your intuition is, in a way separating you from the people you know because they're not doing that or they don't have your exact same intuition, right? And like instead of just living peacefully side by side, uh, they're like used to controlling you or being able to trigger your feelings and your choices. So they're kind of like, what is my purpose in life if I can't control you? Like, cuz maybe they're not tuning into their intuition, so their only form of like feeling like agency in their life is to judge or control other people. But, until they get like a hobby or, learn to follow their most loving, you know, intuition, then they're just like gonna focus on other people and like telling them off or psyching them out or whatever. Right? Just like, what are you doing? Like nobody walks through these two like prison gatehouses or whatever those are, like these watchtowers, But there, it might seem intimidating, like, oh, like everything sucks, like, the structures of today feel like these like watchtowers, but there is a path between them. But the only way through that is through guidance from your like unconditional love, like within you, your inspiration, like and it's like, like that's why people make like books and movies about like the hero's adventure, because like it is kind of like a valid uh you know thing that happens in life. And it's like either you choose to embark on the hero's journey or you don't, and you have to deal with these scorpions and wolves in your life and the watchtowers, um and usually the answer is like very peaceful and miraculous in a way. So there's a certain amount of calming down to receive your intuition. It's not a table flipping solution. It's like there's a narrow path between like to get through something, and it's on you to like have faith and to sort of quiet the barking, growling, snapping sounds, and to kind of know that like, okay, these structures exist here, these sort of watchtowers, but like there is a path through it. And like history shows that people have overcome very difficult situations, and it's a sort of validation that there is a way. All right, so that's the truth reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it a lot, and sending you guys like good vibes. And I will talk to you later. Feel free to contact me. If you can look at my website if you want. The information is in the thing, whatever information box. If you want to donate, you're welcome to do that too. The information is there. And take care. Bye.